Welcome back. The show is called Brandequity and I'm Sonali Krishna. The Indian Premier League has been a hotbed for controversies right from the word go. And to many of its loyal viewers, the buzz off the field has been one of the factors that made the cricketainment even more interesting. Be it one player slapping another, a team owner getting banned from a stadium, players getting caught in rave parties, or teams getting scrapped. But thanks to general elections, IPL 7, or at least a part of it, will be held out of the country, keeping a lot of that attention-grabbing drama off Indian soil. So what's the advertising sentiment like this time round? Let's not forget that last year, Setmax had to sell spot rates at a discount to rope in enough advertisers. Tara Kapoor spoke to a host of experts to find out what the mood is like for IPL 2014. Take it away.
Asia Cup, 2020 World Cup, and elections. If that isn't enough to keep some of the advertisers away from the IPL this year, there's even more bad news. This year, the BCCI's decision to shift IPL 7 out of the country due to the Lok Sabha elections is likely to affect advertising sentiment for several reasons.
A little bit of the buzz of the activity when it happens in India versus outside, it would be definitely lesser in other markets.
There is a bit of a cautious approach right now.
This year it has the added complications of elections looming and potentially out of the country.
I as a sponsor, if I want to do X, I cannot even do 0.25X if it goes to another country.
The broadcaster has assured that the matches will be in line with Indian time slots.
Timings won't change, so the matches, irrespective of where it goes, the matches will start 8 p.m. India time. Now, and that's what the consumers been used to coming for the last 6 seasons at 8 o'clock. And in the weekends at 4 and 8. That's not going to change, irrespective of wherever it goes. And also what's important this time to understand, I think which is critical, is the number of matches have come down from 76 to 60. Alright, so that means that there are going to be less number of afternoon games.
But many advertisers are still wary to spend, as the event not happening in India could impact the viewership interest anyway. Let's not forget that in 2009, when IPL was held in South Africa, the television rating points dipped from 4.81 to 4.17.
Well, I think there's a lot of anxiety, so to speak, in terms of the timing of it and where it's going to happen. But I think there has direct impact on advertiser plans. So I think all these unanswered questions about actual schedule, the venue. I think those are some of the I think concerns that advertisers have right now.
This year, many of the usual advertisers like Godrej, Panasonic, Samsung, Voltas and Micromax are still sitting on the fence and playing the wait and watch game.
For us, it's really a case of examining what our communication needs are at that point of time in the year. Layer on top of that, what is the expectation that the channel is planning to have around the property, and then we'll make our decisions.
One more reason which could bring in caution, which is the whole debate around the currency system. I mean, if for whatever reason we do not have a currency during IPL, and what's going on around on TAM and everything else right now, and if there is actually a currency blackout, I see that playing a much bigger role, because if there is no currency, then people's ability to take risk nosedives.
And while the IPL is still a good bet for advertisers in terms of eyeballs, the other bone of contention for many companies is the fact that Setmax is looking to raise rates for 10-second spots by 20%.
Last year was a correction which we took because of the fact that, because of the games and also the uncertainty, the economic factors weren't supporting it, we had to take a dip in rating. This year, because the number of matches have come down, the outlays of clients come down. So there was a possibility to increase rates this year, which we've done.
Sony will really find it difficult to increase the rates. They might start with 20% higher, but they might end up 20% lower.
With the withdrawal of the Pune Warriors, and as a result, the number of matches reducing to 60 from 74, Setmax is looking to sell 10-second spots at 5 lakhs per 10 seconds, while the final will go at an inflated rate. Last year, the broadcaster had lowered its ad rates by 15 to 20%, bringing it down to 4.5 lakhs per 10 seconds to rope in more advertisers. Hence, instead of 5 presenting sponsors last year, the channel brought in 11 and was able to rake in 850 crore rupees as opposed to the 650 to 700 crore rupees raked in advertising revenues in 2012. But this poses to be a problem for many companies who don't want either a cluttered platform or for rates to be hiked so high.
I think the channels will at some point in time realize that advertisers don't have unlimited funding, and if the viewership is not going up by that much, so it may be, it may make sense for them to try and recover what they see as revenue from a property, but it also has to make sense for the advertiser.
The rates is not valid because looking at the sentiments, economic sentiments of the country, overall the economy is down. People will focus on election because elections is going to be huge and news channels are going to be benefited from that. So raising rates at this time may not be good for advertisers.
The other major issue at hand is with matches being held outside the country, many advertisers are upset with the fact that they will not be getting the same traction as they would like when it comes to on-ground sponsorships and BTL activities. As a result, even though brands like Pepsi and Vodafone are still putting their money behind the tournament, there is still speculation as to how much they're willing to dole out. After 6 seasons, the IPL format has more or less stabilized. Little wonder then that most media planners and advertisers are of the view that a rate hike for this big-ticket property is unjustified, while MSM India, known popularly as Sony, is looking to set last year's discounted rate right by increasing rates by 20%. Advertisers don't seem to be buying into the one-of-a-kind sporting bonanza proposition.
Let's change gears and take it to the Oscars.